So, about 4 years ago, an owner at a local Charlie's Philly cheesesteak restaurant started using and selling cheesesteaks with Cheez Whiz on them. This is actually very similar to the traditional cheesesteaks sold by street vendors in town. By selling these traditional style cheesesteaks, profits started to go through the roof, but, it came at the expense of local street vendors. One vendor in particular, Jacob Stanley, took this as a personal attack on his business and his livelihood. Jacob started off with small things to try and damage the restaurant's reputation. He would stand outside the restaurant trying to sell his own cheesesteaks as well. The restaurant had him removed due to Jacob not having a permit to sell there. Furious and feeling helpless to put food on the table for his family, Jacob called on other street vendors to help him deal with the restaurant once and for all. Jacob and, approximately 8 other vendors went into the Charlie's and started vandalizing the restaurant. They were in the process of beating up the owner and one of his employees when a group of bikers that frequent the restaurant showed up. When the bikers came in, guns were drawn and, a firefight was underway. Jacob held a piece of broken glass to the restaurant owner's throat, threatening to kill him. One of the other street vendors wrapped his fist in a chain and punched the leader of the bikers in the back of the head so hard that it actually fractured his skull. When the police finally showed up, there were 2 dead street vendors, 1 dead biker, and, Jacob had cut off the restaurant owner's manhood and thrown it on the hood of a police car from the roof of the building. The police rushed the building, trying to stop the chaos. One police officer was knocked out immediately after entering the building and then stripped nude. Jacob began putting on the officer's uniform when he was shot by one of the bikers. 2 of the vendors got a hold of the biker and, crucified him on a makeshift cross. The cross was constructed out of benches that were in the restaurant. Jacob, bleeding out fast, then used a knife from behind the counter and performed a Viking-style blood eagle on the restaurant owner. Attempting to cauterize his wound with a spatula, Jacob fell backwards, burning his hand in a grease fryer. One of the other vendors then shoved Jacob's face in the grease. It was a fucking double cross. Jacob had been betrayed. He was eventually drowned and burnt to death in that grease fryer. The other vendor then started a fire. The restaurant was eventually burnt to the ground. 3 cops were killed that day, and Charlie's decided to remove the franchise from the now deceased owner's investment company. In the end, the whole idea to add Cheez Whiz to Philly cheese steaks at Charlie's backfired and cost several people their lives.